I see. We need to have an understanding caucus. What's up, Coda? An understanding caucus. There are several rules that I'm going to start putting on any of my posts from now on. If it don't apply, let it fucking fly. Please don't come through here trolling, talking about this, that, and the third, and it ain't for you. I'm hot. I'm tired. I have no fucking spoons left, and I'm going to throw all this couth that I have out the fucking window. So, again, any post that you see on my page, if you don't agree with it and you don't want to necessarily argue, pass it by. Save yourself and 180 fucking comments. Meanwhile, there's 130 shares of people who agree with the post. And for you weak motherfuckers that say that, you know, this makes us look like a very handicapped situation, this makes us sound like we need special attention. Some of us do. And for those of us that do, I appreciate you for owning your shit. I appreciate you for getting the help that's absolutely needed for you to be more prosperous. And I applaud your partner for taking the time to even read your signs, your emotions. Because for years, I'm sitting there silent, quietly dying on the inside and not being able to communicate properly and emote properly. And I'm wondering why my partner had no idea on how to treat me better. Or treat me the way that I needed to be treated to love her better. Or them better. But hey, what the fuck do I know? I'm just a man. I am just a man. But I know I am just a man that is just a little different. I acknowledge that there is something different about me than my biologically born brother. Because I have one. I have a whole sibling that is cisgender male. While I'm his brother, I understand that his manhood is different from my manhood. I'm pissed the fuck off, Coda. I'm so sick of niggas saying that, oh, you niggas want to be coddled. No, I want to be loved. And I want to be affectionate. I want to be able to be sensitive with the person that I'm supposed to be able to confide in, which is my partner. And my partner being in tune with me to the point where I don't have to say certain things. That's the part y'all miss. Y'all so worried about not having to communicate with your fucking lips because y'all ready to be quiet. Men don't have feelings. Men don't communicate how they feel. Their partners are just supposed to fucking know. They're not mind readers either. Y'all don't like the shit. Men, we don't like having to read fucking minds. Why the fuck should our partners have to? But that's not even why we're here, yo. We not even hear about that post no more. I am hot. It's 100 and some odd shares versus 100 some odd comments. And the comments are outweighing the shares, but the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the fucking pudding. There are people who need this. There are people who actually want their partners to be that in tune with them so that they know that, you know what, every day ain't gonna be glorious. Every day I'm not gonna feel like I'm the most handsome nigga in the world. Every day I'm not gonna feel like I'm that nigga. And even though I might look like I have those days all the fucking time, I don't have them every single day. And not without having to ask for any of that, I call her my wife. That's what she is. In my heart, that's what it is. Speaking into existence. My wife looks at me and says, babe, what's wrong? You know why? She's in tune with me. There are days where she's quiet because she's trans. So be very aware. Be very vigilant. Babe, what's wrong? It's just, I feel like this. I feel like that. She's been on the fucking moon since her consult. And every chance that I get, I tell her that I'm proud that she's making the steps to confirm the woman that she is. It's not being weak. It takes a stronger man to admit that he has a weakness and to be vulnerable. It takes a stronger man to admit that there's vulnerabilities. All that you out here being, yes, you are human, but you're not fucking superhuman. Y'all niggas out here trying to be Superman. Superman got a weakness. It's kryptonite. But back to why we are here. Because that motherfucker post, yo. And, of course, I'm noticing that it's black men defending toxicity. Black men, we are broken. We need to fix this shit. And or else we're going to start why do you think black men are what you hear about in the domestic violence cases? We don't emote properly, yo. We talk, where you get excused. Back in the southern, in the South, hitting your wife was a thing. Beating on your woman, because that's what they saw massa do to their women. When somebody wants to break an animal, what do? You hit them, you beat them, you break them. That's why we talk with our hands first. We think that shit is equated to being a man. Instead of using your thought processes and your communication skills as a human fucking being to say, you know what, I'm hurting. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. Because y'all consider that bitching. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me try to... Alright, there's a couple people I want to try to invite to this conversation. Because, yeah, I ain't got it right now, y'all. I ain't got it all. I love the fuck out of y'all, though, yo. For those that rock with me, you know that this is a passion of mine, and I don't even play this type of shit. Like, I'm getting tired. We have way too much healing to do as a community, and as black men, period. Like, we have way too much healing to do. So I was looking for Jackson's name, and I'm looking for Lane's name. Because I gotta have my family on here. And if I don't have my family on here... Like, I just woke up from a hellified nap, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. I went and got me something to eat. Terrence, what's going on, bro? Okay. So, Pinky, I did share the post. The reality is that this post isn't just about supporting trans men. It's the women's post. The woman's post was valid. Her experience as a partner was valid. It's about being in a partnership. Trans or not, remove the trans wording in any supportive relationship. Her post was not trying to make trans men feel inferior. It was her experience, and it was real. Point blank, period. That was her experience with her man, with what he goes through. And for those who actually go and do the work on self to evaluate yourself, you start peeling back the layers of why you are so defensive, why you're this, why you're that. A lot of you niggas needed to go to therapy before you signed that informed consent paper to put that needle in your leg, ass, or arm. And yes, there are people that take their shots in their arms. Driz, I understood where you were coming from. Like, totally understood where you were coming from. But there's this whole thing of, oh, that ain't my business. But as soon as something's not really about them, or they feel like it's talking directly to them, and I particularly think this person was like trying to like say, you know, it's basically making all trans men. It didn't say all trans men, nor did it imply all trans men. It said trans men. Her experience may be that she's dated more than one trans person. People never look at the broader picture. They see they personalize bullshit, and then it becomes about them. It ain't about you, Carol. It ain't always about you. I get so sick and tired of people getting in their feelings about stuff that ain't really about them. If it don't apply, my nigga, let it go. Like, you over here trying to be turtly enough for the Turtle Club, and bitch, this is Shark Tank. Like, I have an issue with people that because it says trans men, it means all trans men. There was no generalization. There was no generalization. So, let's get to this. Let's get down to the brass tacks, the real topic of discussion. Some shit that I actually want to try to straighten out here, man. So, people, gender non-conforming. From what I was told, and I am getting from this, there was another post that kind of went viral, aka small viral, which means I've had more than 100 or something comments on it, where GNC and non-binary are different. And for those who have no idea what GNC means, it means gender non-conforming. From what I was, what I've understood and I've taken away from that post, which actually started off being a little combative, which is actually what struck my nerve the first time. There were people on there who did not identify as non-binary nor gender non-conforming who were chiming in saying that, saying pretty derogatory things. And basically we kind of talked through that whole situation thereafter. So what it came out to being is that gender non-conforming is more of the umbrella term, kind of like trans, that encompasses people who identify outside of the cisgender spectrum. Gender non-conforming is more of a umbrella term. Non-binary is more of a personal self-identifier. Can you be gender non-conforming or binary and be trans? The answer is yes. Yes, 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 yes. You can be both. I wanted to address that very point. And the reason I want to address that very point is that I'm a trans man. Not a trans masculine person. No, I'm a trans man who is very non-binary. In the way that I float through, I let my masculinity manifest itself because it comes off as feminine. So I feel that even though the things that I love and that I attribute to my manhood are seen as you know, not necessarily that of a masculine man. It's my energy and it's my non-binary. It's a self-identifier. Somebody can be trans and be non-binary, but they may not necessarily be gender non-conforming. So there we go with that whole spew. So we keep going on this damn post, and okay, we'll address that in a minute. And since I don't have any of my sibs here at the moment, we can slide back to this, what the issue was with that post. Driz says the issue with her generalizing of it instead of speaking on her own personal experience, the reality is that it doesn't apply to everybody. Then why the fuck did everybody speak? If it doesn't apply to everybody, why does that need to be... the word all was never fucking used. How was it generalized? I'm big on language. The word all was never used. So please tell me how it was generalized. If it applied to you, it stuck to you. It might have ruffled your fucking feathers. But if it don't apply to you, shit like that don't matter to you. Because if somebody throws shit at you and you duck, it's going to miss you, right? Boom. So, if that's not your story, if that's not your narrative, why even engage? Everything ain't about you, Carol. And bro, you know it. I don't mean no harm when I say shit like that, but it ain't about you. I mean, there was no generalization. The word all was never fucking used. I don't like how people try to manipulate, but they say it's always about language. Well, check this out. In the English language, all is all encompassing. You feel what I'm saying? It means all as a general consensus. It's never about you personally. And I'm to the point where, as somebody who is trying to fight for visibility, somebody who is fighting, who is trying to get respect for men who may not necessarily be them rah-rah ass niggas, who may not be the fraudulent frontin' gur ass niggas, them niggas that actually pretend that they don't have emotions but cry more than they girlfriends because they don't understand. Niggas that go and act out, meaning hypersexuality, because they don't know how to express how they feel, and that's the only way they feel close to people. If we want to start digging up some shit that the non-emotion part comes into play, we can start unpacking some of these fucking problems we have in the black community. But we will never address those because we don't want to look at our fucking selves. Like I said, if it don't apply, let it fucking fly. Next. I keep telling y'all I'm tired of this fucking post. Like, it's been to the point that this post in particular I had to take a nap today. And I woke up to 180 fucking comments. 180. Like, y'all real live arguing on my shit. And then I was told that I'm not doing a good job of educating people. Hold on, y'all. I was told that I was doing a bad job of educating people. So, my entire mission on educating people has been happening since I was 12 years old. I was queer long before YouTube. I was queer long before MySpace. I was queer long before I helped start my school's GSA. And this is over going on 13 years now. My way of teaching is to have conversation, to give different viewpoints from different standpoints. There's the partner's perception, there's the actual trans individual's perception, there's the outside perception. Family members, people who don't deal with you on a regular basis anymore. There's all these different aspects of your life that you have to go through, and these different avenues that you have to navigate as a trans person. But because I put something you don't agree with, I'm doing a horrible job at educating people. You're entitled to your opinion. But what you won't do is discredit the work that I've been doing since I was 12. My journey has evolved from assumed lesbianism to being diagnosed at 9. And confirming who I am. I have literally had to shift several times in my life because my life and my journey is a continuance. It continues to grow, shift, and evolve. My manhood has been a roller coaster ride because I have been depressed. I've been anxious. I've dealt with anxiety, social anxiety, and I've dealt with just personal anxiety. There's anxiety about going to the doctor. There's anxiety about giving myself my shot. There's anxiety about dealing with people in general. Not even am I passing today, but am I black enough today? Do I act black enough today? Like, what does my blackness look like? I mean, like, I literally have been, I've been on this mission for a very long time, and I don't get paid for this. You want to know what actually pays me is when I get those inboxes saying, "Bro, I needed your live to say what you said." I've had people continuously tell me that the work that you're doing saved my life. But I'm doing a bad job at it. I'm doing a bad job at it. And I got receipts. I have receipts. What I do from the heart. And as I learn, I take correction. When I was told I was being toxic, I went tooth and nail, fought hard as shit. Because I didn't understand. I've been fighting since I was 12. And then I started peeling apart what I did and how I am and the reasons why I am the way that I am. And realizing that some of the shit that I've picked up along the way to adulthood was toxic, is toxic, and will continue to be toxic if it goes unchecked. Masculinity needs to start being checked. If we see our brothers doing dumb shit or saying dumb shit, we need to be responsible enough to be like, "Hey, yo, bruh, that's not a good look. It's not, that's sexist. That's, you know what I mean? Like, we need to start calling each other out. We can't expect to be educated by the white man about what's toxic and what's not. Y'all don't want to hear shit from a white man, but you don't want to hear shit from your brothers neither. Like, I feel like if you don't want to hear from your brother telling you that, yo, bro, this is wrong, which is why a lot of us allow the shit that we allow around us. This shit is toxic. This shit is irresponsible. And the shit doesn't make you a man. It makes you a fucking boy. And if y'all don't like what I got to say, baby, unfriend and delete is a real thing. And I won't miss you. There's 4,000 and some odd people on this joint. You can be replaced. Hell, you might make room for somebody that wants to be receptive. I got my deep fried cat and dog right now, y'all. But I see, like, my question is, where's all... I'm trying to, man. What I'm trying to get to the bottom of, why is it that people feel so attacked when they weren't tagged? And I really, really don't understand, because this is never the white guys. I'm calling my brothers out. The white guys who are passable get told that they this and they that. But do y'all realize white men are telling y'all, hey, what you're perpetuating here is toxic masculinity. But when a brother that looks like you says something, y'all ready to jump down his fucking throat because you can't combat what that white man is saying? What I don't like is that shit. Y'all can give a nigga that look like you stone cold hell. But when a white man hits y'all with some educational fact about the bullshit that y'all are spewing, y'all have nothing to say. I don't like it. I don't appreciate that shit, man. And y'all wonder why there are a lot of brothers dating white girls. Do you know why that is? Because y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all think that toxic shit is what they're attracted to. No, they're dating Ben, Brad, Reggie, and and Willem out this bitch because we don't know how to emote. We don't know how to seek help. We don't know how to emote. We don't know how to express ourselves. Y'all gotta think about this shit. These are guys that, oh babe, I love the ground you're walking. What is this, your hair weave? They care about that shit. But that being attentive to your partner shit, y'all think is attractive. Y'all think being unattentive and coming off with that fuckboy mentality is attractive. I'm learning very, very quickly why our sisters are dating white men and why our brothers are dating white women. And after being in a relationship for 4 years with a white woman, I understand completely. Will I ever fucking do it again? No, the fuck I won't. Because this was said earlier on my other live, that our black women are the greatest of all time. They come in so many different shades of beautiful. I would never trade that for a day in the world. And it's no offense to my white sisters at all, but to me, there's nothing better than a melanated goddess. But for real, we gotta get our act together, yo. Y'all gonna wake up one day and realize that I wasted the majority of my 20s and my 30s perpetuating stereotypes to get locked up. Up, we got somebody on this joint. Hold on, let me see. Invite you. Kalia, is that how you pronounce your name? Yep. Kalia, you there? Okay. We don't know what happened. We'll allow her to come back as soon as we can. But what do y'all feel? We basically turned this conversation into being about that post, and I really should restart this video. It's probably not going to even be posted. But I did have a part two to this, but it was very much shifted because of what's going on. Um, what? Okay, but like, yo, those are some of my thoughts. I don't, anybody want to come on and talk about their thoughts on that matter? Um, that what's causing all the interracial dating? I think it's a cause. I definitely think it's a cause, and the effect is that we are having a lot of we are embarking on a lot more interracial relationships because there's an understanding on one side where there's not on the other. And this can be said for our trans sisters as well. Think about it. Up until recently, black trans men have been under the radar, or not really seen or thought about. Up until Jason and Aubrey their had their uh, had their channel, black trans love looked like very far and few in between. And then when we started seeing these beautiful black trans couples, and then there's this hope because I saw it prior to the black trans explosion. There were a lot of guys dating cis women who were white, and there was a lot of brothers doing it. I was like, okay, I gotta understand, like, but what I'm finding, like, when I was dealing with when I met my ex, um, like, it wasn't about that whole weird conversation. Like, oh, I'm trans. Like, she thought I was some cis nigga just coming at her, like, oh, what's good? Da, 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 da. Like, we were drunk that night. We were fried. Um, and it took us going out, like, just on some hangout, kickback type shit. Um, that she found out I was trans. And she was like, oh, I thought you were um, bio. And yeah, she used the word bio. So at the time, you can see how far back. Like, oh, you were a biological man? I thought you were a bio guy. I was like, no, I'm a trans guy. Um, but she was just open and receptive to the possibility of me being all of who I am as a black man. Whereas in other situations, I was assumed to be a stud because I didn't have a bunch of facial hair. I guess I didn't look as hard or whatever as well. And that whole situation ended up being, they kept trying to treat me like a girl. And it was just like, there were certain things I just could not get with. Speaking of people with white partners, Lane, I want to talk to you, damn it. Hit the invite button. I want to talk about that damn post. You want to come on? Let me see. Yes, sir. Oh, here we go.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, bro?
Ain't not much, man. Chilling, chilling. How you doing?
I'm alright, man. I'm alright. Living. Trying
I
not to
see you.
go off too tough.
Hey, I mean, I see you out here dropping gems on these cats, man.
They don't hear me though.
Yo, what's crazy? What you talking about, man? I've been talking about, forever, man. And it's like they don't want to hear it, man. They don't want to hear it. What's up with that, man?
Because the truth is a hard pill to swallow. And when you have to be real and if you have to look, when you have to self reflect, it's a hard motherfucking thing to do because you can point the finger all day long. But when you actually have to realize that three are already pointing back at you, you have to analyze that shit. You're not ready for it.
Right. I always say, that people find it much easier to stay ignorant on something because the moment that you acknowledge that you know about something, you have to now take responsibility for your ignorant actions. So the best way to kind of go around that is to play stupid, like you don't know what the hell going on. You know what's going on. You just don't want to take responsibility for the stupid shit that you're doing.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy, man. But yo, to get on this interracial dating like you was talking about, my experience is um man, when I have dated outside my race, what I found was that people who didn't look like me, which is crazy, um was willing to accept me and my emotions. My problem that I've encountered with black women, and I love black women, but my
Gorgeous
problem is
being.
right. My problem is especially being a trans guy or a guy of trans experience. The first thing they say is, "Dang man, you emotional like a girl." One, I'm a Cancer, and it's not an excuse, but I am a Cancer, and being a Cancer man and growing up how I grew up, um,
There's a level of
I've always
sensitivity there.
right. I've always been emotion driven. Like all my actions were based off of what I felt emotionally. So I am into the like textbook romantic corny shit. Like that's just the kind of stuff that I'm into. Um and it was just like it wasn't being received by the black women that I have chosen to pursue. It was just like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? They just have this misconception, or this misconception has been given off that I need to act more like a nigga. I need to be like, oh fuck you, bitch. Like, oh, don't hold my hand in public. Like, I don't give a fuck how your nails is done. Like, I'm not going to sit with you while you get your nails done. Or
Don't ask me
I
to
don't,
hold that purse.
yeah, like a lot of the stupid stuff, and it's almost like, man, um, what in the hell? What happened to cause this kind of like this this mindset in women to where they feel like men have to be like emotionless creatures, or we have to like not give a fuck about you emotionally for us to show that we care about you in a sense. And I dated a white girl years ago, but my most recent situation um with a brown person, and that was kind of like the situation, like, man, you care a little bit too much about me. And it was like, how you mean I care a little bit too much about you? And it made me look at myself like, damn boy, I must be fucked up or something. But all that, now that I look at it, it was like, well, you didn't care enough about you, and that's why it seemed like I cared about you more. You didn't care enough about yourself first. So when someone else gave you the time and the attention that you should have been giving to yourself, it was just like, oh, you need to back up. Like, you need to act more like a nigga. Like, don't hit me up every day. Don't try to court me. Like, on some. But what you want me to cheat on you? You want me to beat on you? You want me to curse you? Call you a bitch? You don't want me to compliment you. You want me to act like we strangers when we in public. That's what you want me to do. You want me to disrespect you in every way, just negate the fact that you are an emotional human being. Do all of that.
Fucking emotional human being. Let's start by basic human. Like,
right, pretty much. It's just like, man, and it was just like, where did like that disconnect come from? Like, just fuck being a trans person and you being a cis person, just two human beings trying to coexist on an emotional level or a spiritual level higher than just a physical level. Like, what happened to that?
we broken as a people. And because we are broken, we don't want to fix it. We don't want to fix it. We're complacent. We're content with being in these societal norms, which aren't societal norms because white folks don't act like this. I'm sorry. Let's be fucking real. Like, we are so bent on this whole I don't want to act white. I don't think I'm white. I don't want to. Y'all, is to emote and have emotions is not a white thing. It's a human fucking thing. Asians have emotions. Africans have emotions. White folks have emotions. People have emotions. Hell, dogs have emotions. They wag their tail when they're happy.
Dude, I don't know where it's coming from, man. Somebody said to me, that it's like the younger generation, like kind of coming up and taking over. Man, I don't even think that's so much the case, but I do feel like the younger generation is learning that kind of behavior from somewhere. And you know what and just kind of like go left real quick. What I've noticed, um, what I've noticed that kind of behavior coming from within just our community, like the Black trans people of experience community, other trans brothers knocking on other brothers who, like you was like almost like what you was talking about, feel like if you don't display this sort of masculine energy, then it's like your manhood is invalid. So you still a girl in a sense, like, and that's why why these women won't respect you as a man, because you don't give off this kind of energy of being this over masculine guy or whatever the case may be. But I don't need to flaunt my masculinity to prove that I'm a man to nobody. And I don't feel like a real woman would want me to be over masculine to her to show her who I am. Because I don't need to play down on her being a woman in that sense where I need to be like, oh, yeah, I'm a man, like flexing or like, I don't feel like I got to do that to anybody, no matter who I date. I don't feel like I have to be over masculine to prove my manhood, but I see a lot of trans guys who clown on other trans guys, man, because they're not like societal norm of what masculinity should look like or what it should be like. And it's just like, dude, you wasn't put on this path to try to be like the next man or to act like the next man or to even act what society feel like a man should act, because, man, society definition of a man is kind of fucked up in my personal opinion, because men gets portrayed to be like, especially now, just ruthless, don't give a fuck, get you pregnant, leave you with a bunch of kids, don't want to take care of home, want to disrespect you, want to do all of this. If that is what society think a man is, I ain't that type of man anyways.
Fact.
If you looking for a man to just hit you up when it's convenient for him, you know what I'm saying, or to show you off to his friends because you physically beautiful, but you ugly on the inside. If you looking for that type of person, yo, I ain't even the one for you, because I don't need that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. One of the I had a point. One of the things that I think is very important for us is that we have to remember Tupac, one of the most thug ass niggas in the media at one point in time during the 90s. kind of put shed some light on the fact that he wasn't that dude. And if y'all know anything about Tupac, Tupac was intelligent. He was also thoughtful of women. Ask Jada Pinkett.
Right.
She still has that letter from high school. They both went to the Baltimore School of Music, or Baltimore School of the Arts. Excuse me.
Of the arts.
Because I used to work like literally across the street from it, which was actually pretty dope. But in thinking about some of the hardest dudes we know, do you really know what they portray outside of the media? Because that whole thug life image was created by media to start demonizing black men.
Right.
They started fucking with him on a regular basis, and he got irritated by that. He has Black Panther blood in his system, so he's going to say fuck the police. He's that nigga. He's that revolutionary nigga. He's always been that guy. Right. But he was a defender of women. He was a defender for the black folk. He was a voice for the black community. That's why he's dead. Let's be real.
Right.
You said the generation that's out now, listen to the music they listen to. There is no love in the music that they listen to. I still listen to the Temptations. I'm 30. So the Temptations was stuff that my mom listened to. They sang about loving women, taking care of their woman, being there for them, being chivalrous.
Right.
We don't get that anymore. Those guys that you hear doing that, we're down to Maxwell and Stevie being left as a musical genius.
Man, I agree with you on that one, man. I've been always, man. I always been this like, I want to say almost like an indigo child, man. Growing up where I grew up at, I grew up in a small little community on the outskirts of Charleston, South Carolina. So, you know, it was really nobody out there like me that could relate to what I was going through. And I grew up with nothing but boys. I have nothing but brothers, you know, and, you know, so my influences came from them, but it also came from me like reading and almost looking to guys when I decided to start transitioning years ago, like over a decade ago. You know, looking at those guys online and kind of reaching out to those guys and kind of finding a home within those guys that I did talk to. And even then, those guys who I see now, who I talk to then, they had a different mindset then. You know what I'm saying? Like, they understood kind of what it is that I felt, and kind of like where I wanted to go, the things that I wanted to do, in every aspect outside of just transitioning. They, like, I could relate to them. But when I see those guys now, you know, 12 years later, it's like those guys act like my 17-year-old cousin, my 16-year-old cousin. Like, dude, you're 35. Like, what happened to that guy who was like giving me pointers on how to properly court someone, how to have a conversation with someone and try to get them to, not even get them to understand, but to put myself in a position with someone where it wasn't just around me being transgender. You know what I'm saying? It was like how to kind of break out your shell, how to make conversation about everyday things, because at the end of the day, you are a human. You being a person of trans experience doesn't make up who you are entirely. Like, those people, what, like, they don't exist no more, man. Like, those same guys who I had conversations with. Do I have another one? Mm-hmm. And then my daddy. No, nobody can see you. God, man, that boy crazy. Anyways, those guys, you found one? All right. And my daddy want to say what's up.
Hey, Pops.
How y'all doing?
How you doing?
Chilling.
Oh,
That's what's up.
All right.
All right, bye.
My dad was the first person I came out to. Also, when I was not even a teenager, he was the first person who I connected with. So, anyways,
That's what's up, man.
he want to be in everything all the time.
Is that a bad thing?
No, it's not.
Right. Yo, big ups to Pops for being a good dad, man.
Oh, he is, yo. Like, man, everything, no matter what it is that I want to do, no matter how far left it may seem, man, he traveled up and down this country, man. He followed me when I was in track events. He traveled when I did anything academic. He traveled. And now that I'm on this little activism type situation, anything that I got going on, he traveled with me. So
That's what's up.
I keep him close. My mom, she's not as flexible because of her job situation like he is, but I keep them close to me. My parents they solid, boy.
That's
And,
what's up, man. Like we
anyway,
gotta bring him out to Texas, man, for B Tech, yo.
yo,
Like we gotta get you out there, bro. Like,
I gotta get out there, man. I gotta get that. He be trying to drag me. He be like, "Yeah, I see this event online, man. What you think about going?" I be like, "Dad, man, that's far, man. I don't know about that." He be like, "I see this. I see they doing this. What you think about?" I'm like, He be trying to go. I'm the one to be like,
well, when I tell you it's a life changing experience. Matter of fact, the brother Flex Jones right here was one of the men that I looked to when I first started my transition, and
Okay.
like. When he told me who he was, I hadn't realized that I had seen him on Mari, and that screwed me up because it was like, yo, you were the first guy that I saw myself in,
Right.
like, because most of those shows they usually have white guys,
Right.
and he was the first black man that I saw, and I got to meet him last year, and it was the great experience because I got to talk to him and like be in his presence and bro, it's an experience, bro. Next year, it's the last week in April, I believe they have the date already set. Definitely make sure if you have any questions, make sure you hit me up, man. We gonna make sure that you out there,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Family,
I
yo.
make that move, man. That's a good look, man. Man, listen, I'm still trying to, which is a shame, man, but I'm still trying to get out this shell that I'm in and just go out there and go for it, man. And, do what I gotta do, man. It's tough, man. It's tough because, like I said, man, I'm from South Carolina, man. The community support is like slim to none here. There's really like nobody here doing anything. A lot of the work that I do um is with a lot of the HIV and AIDS councils that we have around here, because that community is huge here. So I work real close with them because they work real close with trans women. So I work real close with them, but anything that's like trans exclusive is like do not exist here. I did create a nonprofit organization 2 years ago. It's a 501c3 that is exclusively for LGBT youth. But again, the lack of community support here in South Carolina, my organization is still small. But hopefully, man, it'll grow into a situation where, we can be kind of all over the place and kind of, do what it is that we want to do.
Flex is in North Carolina. And as you can see, he's saying like hit him up, let him know what's going on. Yeah, he's like right there. He's big on support and especially getting black trans anything, especially black trans masculine stuff out there. I'm trying to do work with black trans masculine health as well. So here in Philly. So it's definitely the work that needs to be done. So we should definitely talk. Flex is the first man to hold space to me and talk about Kai. And yes, 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 yes. We we gotta try to get Kai home, yo. Can we agree to that? You know about Kai Peterson, don't you? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's understandable because you know what? It's a lot of brothers that don't. And brothers that's doing the work need to know about him. We need to try to get him home because the girls got CC home. CC's doing tours and speaking out on, incarceration and trans issues as well. We feel that Kai needs that same kind of track. We need to get that brother home because he spent a good portion of his childhood in prison. We need to get him out of there, man. Like
Wow.
I'll definitely Pinky, if you can send a link to his story for me. If you can, I'll post it in here and we'll pin it real quick. Because like his story is one that it's basically that of it's a black version of Brandon Tina's story. The only difference is he went to jail.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So and he's in jail for killing his attacker. So
What part of the states?
I believe it's Ohio. I believe. Here we go.
Oh, I see it.
Let me see if I can pin this John here. Pin this comment.
There you go.
In South Georgia, my bad.
Dang, man, that's right next door. I wonder why. Yo, you know what the truth is though, man? It's so much trans news out there, man. It's just like we have never had a time where we can just be like, because soon as one thing is over, boom, something else happened. Not too long ago, I spoke at this visual for this young lady who got killed. Her name was Sasha Wall. She got killed in the state of South Carolina. She was a woman of trans experience. She was a black woman of trans experience, and the media just killed her, man. They dead named her, almost like blaming her for her being attacked and killed. And it was crazy, and nobody was doing nothing about it. But there's a community organizer that's here where I'm at now. I'm not in Charleston anymore. I'm in Columbia, and she was just like real proactive and was just like, yo, we can't let it go. So, but these kind of stories, man, we can't get a breather from them. Even outside of being trans, just being black, man, it just seems like we just can't breathe.
Man, I feel you.
Yeah. But anyways, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you finish doing your thing. I ain't gonna take up no more of your time. I appreciate you letting me join in on this conversation, bro.
Man, I appreciate you having you in the space, bro. I appreciate you. Anytime you feel like you want to come on, let me know. Just hit the invite button. I'll let you know.
All right, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, man.
You too.
All right.
The issue is he's in the South. There are a lot of hidden truths. Fact. So I have it pinned at the moment for those who are watching Kai Peterson's story. If you want to find out more information about his story, what people are trying to do to get him home, that is a mission. Hopefully, we can bring some awareness to him and his story and shed some light on it because it's a lot of guys in our community that have no idea uh, about him or the story behind his incarceration. So, anybody else got your hands raised? Lane, you still here? Flex is in the building. Christian, what's going on, bro? You here? Absolutely, for sure, man. For sure. Pinky, absolutely. I wanted to make sure that our family is aware of what's being done. What's going on, bro? I actually want to talk to you on here is if you don't mind, so we can talk about some of your plans for a possible retreat, what you had in mind. I pay attention. I'm in and out of groups. I might not say stuff too often, but I'm definitely um, paying attention out here because I want to try to give out as much information as possible and discuss the different things brothers are doing and also invite them out to BTech so that they find other brothers that are doing things and other family that are doing things in the country so that they can link and make sure that these things come to fruition, these ideas and these dreams and these spaces that need to be created can come to fruition. So Flex, you want to come on for a little bit, man? Alright. A boys' weekend in Virginia Beach. Okay. I'm gonna have you come on the show. I'm gonna have you come on my live one day and talk about that. Once you try to get everything finished or whatever.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I woke up to that this morning. That was a commercial. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. What are you talking about today? I'm all over the plots today.
Oh man, it seems like it's a little bit of everything going on. Um and we're talking about whatever is coming to the mind. Like initially, this was supposed to be
Okay,
part two.
so what is this story about a woman speaking for a trans man? Is that what that was? I'm trying to figure out what that conversation was about.
Oh, okay, so hmm, Miss Sharon came on after saying that there's a difference between trans people and gender nonconforming people and non-binary people. And her thing was that they don't need to be included during policy talks. What's up, Alan? Um, um, Particularly under the trans identity. And I said that's not necessarily true because there are non-binary trans people and there are gender non-conforming people who identify as trans as well. So she was then saying that, well, because I see a man in front of me, because I told her I identify as personally as non-binary. Um, but I also I've definitively I'm a man. There's no if ands or buts about
Right.
it.
Right.
But what I think was the big thing that was missed by her is that you can self-identify as both, and I don't think she understood that.
Okay, so somebody just said, "How if you're GNC, how can you be trans?" Okay, let me break it down like this. I'm going to go backwards in time of what you were saying. So when it became to human rights and civil rights for the LGBT community, the trans community was in there fighting as well. But the trans, we fought. We did the fight. But the LGBT gained the right. So who are we to say anything when we fought for someone, we fought for a community and end up being put on the back burner still? So we have allies, we have comrades that fight for trans rights. So are we to say that they can no longer fight alongside of us? So here I say again. So when you have gender non-conforming individuals who are fighting for rights as well, do we not understand as transsexual individuals? I'm going to use transsexual because a lot of people are conflicting with the word transgender. Okay, there's an umbrella that transgender, transsexual, transvestite, GNC, all under one umbrella. It's not a transgender umbrella. It's under one umbrella, but everyone calls it the transgender umbrella. It's not the transgender umbrella. It's the umbrella regarding gender, because under LGB, pansexuality, asexuality, and all that, that falls under sexuality, which is a total different umbrella. Right or wrong?
Right.
So, because we fall under one umbrella regarding gender, because even they got cisgender underneath that one umbrella. It just happens to be that transgender is under that umbrella of gender, okay? But when you're talking about GNC, you're talking about binary and GNC, I'm going to say this. It depends on where a person is comfortable in their life to live as they need to be. We can't judge. It's not our place to judge. Too often we are judging, and we can't judge. That's like someone who's gender non-conforming judging me being a trans man of experience by way of looking binary. But this is what the testosterone has done to me. It has put me into the binary. Hormones, I'm going to say this because we talked about this on my radio show. Hormones has nothing to do with binary. Hormones do what the fuck they going to do. Did I say fuck? I'm sorry. They're going to do what the heck they're going to do.
This is my
okay
shit. So I don't care.
Right.
Sure.
Hormones doesn't check the box trans non-conforming. It does. And with that being said, when I took my hormones, I knew what to expect. I knew what to expect. But in my heart, I knew what to receive from myself. Am I non-conforming? No. I'm very comfortable being Flex. Flex loves the feminine side and the masculine side of Flex. Do I walk around looking female? No, I don't. I don't want a dress on. I never wanted a dress on when I was 3 years old. So why would I put a dress on now? So here's the thing. We as a community have to understand that pink and blue and white flag is what we all fall under. It's based upon gender. It's based upon gender. Okay? We just happen to fall underneath that umbrella of rainbows. And we have to understand that the rainbow umbrella has nothing to do with race, ethnicity. It has a lot to do with morale levels. Okay? It's a lot more than just that. So being who I am as a trans man, I don't have a problem dealing with non-conforming individuals. My issue for a long time was understanding it, which many of us are not understanding. It took me a long time. It took me to get beat up by some of them, verbally, not beat up physically, but verbally. Took me time to open my eyes and my ears. But because I have an open mind, I wanted to hear more. We have to have open minds to listen. The new generation has the right to do what they want to do. I come from old school. Yes, I believe that once you say you're transgender or transsexual, you should be doing what you're supposed to be doing to do that. But I also know that the new generation is a new generation. And I feel that if our new generation is comfortable where they are, and they're comfortable with terminology that makes them comfortable, then we should be inviting to that as well. Okay.
I wanted to kind of address a couple of Alan's questions. Alan said, what is GNC? GNC is the umbrella term for gender nonconforming, meaning that they don't conform to societal standards or norms of a particular gender. they embrace all of their masculine or feminine energy as their own particular energy. Um, and some people um, start out their transition very binarily, uh, very binary in a very binary way, and start to transition, and then start to realize that they don't need to medically transition in a particular manner. Some people have gone as far as getting surgeries and then stopping hormones because they feel more comfortable in their skin, um, as what they present as. And then they might add on some of their uh, birth
Side of birth
mannerisms,
characteristics.
characteristics, and
Side of
things
birth
of that.
characteristics. Yeah.
Um,
Side of birth characteristics.
right. So they're natal characteristics. I'll call them that. And they're comfortable in that as a human being. Non-binary, it can mean it has a similarity, but I consider that more of a self identifier as opposed to a broad spectrum like G and C. And what I was told about people who are non-binary, that their transition is not, it has no stopping point. Their transition is more fluid, and their journey is, they're going to continue to transition into human beings as a whole. Like, there is no I'm a man now, I'm a woman now. It's I'm the person that I am, and I'm continuously evolving. That was the understanding that I got from that.
Let me say this. Alan said, but all people have character. You're right, Alan. I do have characteristics of feminine characters and male characteristics. But some individuals who identify as male gendered are going to be what we call within the binary, because they believe they're masculine, they're male gender. The image of what society says is male, the facial, the face value, I got beard and mustache, the whole thing, that's where they're comfortable. There's trans women that transition and they identify as woman. That is their gender. We have genders. With gender nonconforming or non-binary, they don't identify with this or that. It's more or less of where they're fluid within that moment or within that year, within that time. They're very comfortable being who they are. Some, I'm not trying to be funny, but some are comfortable being the boy they need to be for maybe 6 months. And then I hear he's there now. It's not even they don't conform to pronouns either. They don't conform to he, she pronouns, masculine, feminine pronouns. They're very comfortable within the mixture of the two. So they use the pronouns them, they, those. Some have Z, some have X. So they're comfortable with that, which means that they are willing to flow, have a direction, and there's no limit, no standards. Whereas living within the binary, we look like the standards of what a man would appear to look like, or what a man appears by face value. But like I said earlier, when you are taking testosterone or estrogen does not identify you as binary or non-binary. It does what it does, and you become within that binary. That is what testosterone, that's what hormones does. It alters the body to change as it needs to change, to transform itself. So when we say trans, we're talking about moving. And when we say gender, we're moving gender. We're changing gender. When you're speaking of non-binary or gender non-conforming, under that umbrella of gender non-conforming, you're speaking of fluid, moving about however it feels at the time of. That's the only way that I can explain it, because that's the way I absorbed it for me to understand it. I don't have a problem with gender non-conforming. I don't have a problem with non-binary individuals. I don't have a problem. I think the problem that we have in our community is it's confusing for some that have been conditioned. I'm gonna use the word conditioned because y'all know I love that word. This is my word this year. We've been conditioned by family, Bible, church, society on what's supposed to be man or woman. And I'm gonna go back to this like I told my mother. We don't really know. We don't really know if Adam was Eve and Eve was Adam. The Bible never said he had a penis and she had a poochie poochie, okay? The Bible never said that, okay?
Not a hoochie
So
coochie.
we don't know if Adam or Eve had a dang-a-lang and a swang-a-swang. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. All we know, they were covered. So I and my mother have had this, because she's a Christian woman. We've had these deep conversations. And she admittedly said to me, I see a man in front of me. Yes, that's what hormones does. Had I not take the hormones, you would still see the daughter that you had in female body. She said, you're right. But as you evolved, you've become more man. And she's learning, she's old school, she's learning. But she's also accepting the fact that there is nothing in the Bible that says Eve and Adam was male or female. Because, you know, the only thing Eve got was the third rib. They didn't say no, they said the third rib. So we have to really think about, where are people getting this idea of what's masculine, what's feminine? Because if we really think about it, in other countries, women, I'm going to go back to sometimes when I grew up, there was a German woman in my neighborhood. She plowed, she drove a truck, she was tall, broad-shouldered. She looked like a man, but she was a woman. And this woman had 5 kids, and her husband was short like me. Does that make her non-binary? Does that make her androgynous? Does that make her trans? Does that? No, it made her a person with characteristics that were a bit very much, they were a bit very much masculine. But that's not what's masculine. That's what she chose, what she did for chores. So we have to step away from the image of what men are to look like, act like. We have to look at what individuals need to do. But we have a lot of ideas that society has conditioned us to what's supposed to be. It's called containing us in order for us to act accordingly to what it was trying to do. Y'all, let me say this real quick. I'm gonna say this. Do y'all, when they created America, do y'all know that this was a cleansing?
I don't know why. We lost Flex. Okay. We're gonna try to get Flex back on. I don't know what happened. And we gonna help you out, bro. Saying no answer. Ugh. Okay, I'm about to cancel both of these. Let's see if I can invite you. Alright.
There we go. Oh, Flex is on his way, right? Okay. When it comes to like GNC and non-binary, um, there are things about our society that we don't understand because it's not what we're used to. But there are some societies and some groups of people who recognize things outside of two genders. So, Lexa won't let me add you, man. Look at God.
I did my magic powers. I put some powder on everything. That's all I did. Poofa. Okay, so let me go back to what I'm saying, and I'm going to get back to the knowledge, but I want to say this. When America was created, it was a place for cleansing. In Europe, they did not like the way Europe had famine, it had death, it had disease, it had people doing sex all over the place. People started living lives differently than how they were controlling it. So when they came here to the States, they decided we're going to make a new country and we're going to cleanse it out. Well, it was doing good because they conditioned people, even down to slaves. They conditioned them, took away their traditions, their ritualities, their knowledge of their ancestry, their, when we talk about two souls, that they took all that from us, from people that came from Africa and other countries. They stripped them because they didn't want anything coming in to disrupt what they call a cleansing process. So, as the years and the centuries changed, the truth started revealing. People started telling stories and what's real and what's not. And as time evolved, now you've got 2018, our transgender community has evolved so largely that it's scaring society. Now we are finding ways of being separated by society. Y'all got that? So now they have us fighting amongst ourselves. People don't want GNC to be acknowledged. And so they've allowed us as trans men and trans women that are living within the binary to fight with these individuals, because we are now conforming the fact that there are two soul spirit individuals out there. They didn't want that known. It's been going on for centuries and years. Pinky knows this story. Even your Native Americans exposed that whole knowledge of two souls, two spirits. But they try to downgrade that too. So as we are exposing it as a community, we're now showing to society that you've been lied to. And the games you played were not about that. But have you noticed, every time a community is rising, there is some form of conflict. Some form of conflict. It's not from within our community. It's an outside community that's coming in causing the conflict. You all have to remember, cisgender did not come from the transgender community. It came from a bio-born, I'm going to say the word, because we use the word, and you knew this, AJ, we use the word bio-born male or female. That means they were biologically born male or female, and they're not transitioning or they're not GNC. They are just who they are, okay? We never used the word cisgender. It was created by a white woman. Let's go back to white woman, white woman. I have nothing against white people, but was created. Do you all understand? GNC, we didn't even know what that was. That was highlighted by the white community. Do y'all not understand in our black community right now, our transgender, transsexual, transvestite, GNC community, we are now being pulled apart because they know we don't know. They know we don't know, but fail to realize we're educating each other. For a long time, even the gay community fights with us because they don't know, but we're educating each other. And the more and more we educate, the more and more they can't pull us apart. Do you all understand that? Do you not understand your forefathers' heritage was this? There were people that were two-spirited in the Caribbeans, in the Spanish islands, which my family comes from, in Africa as well. But we're not supposed to know this stuff. We're supposed to be the bottom of the totem pole and not be educated. But we're educating and we're learning. And it makes it harder for us to understand what gender nonconforming and the difference between the two, because they are allowing us to fight amongst ourselves. We're trying to understand, we're trying to accept. But just remember that the older generation of transsexuals, those that are identified as transsexuals or trans men or trans women, however they identified, we were brought in a conditioned situation. A conditioned situation. So we have got to become unconditioned. It took a long time for me to become unconditioned, but because I see things differently than my colleagues do, I began to say, it is what it is. If that individual is comfortable being where they are in their life, it is what it is. It's just like when we just had bisexuality and lesbianism and straight people, and then we had the word bisexual. It is what it is. If somebody's comfortable being within the fence, let them be in the fence. Don't criticize, don't judge. If somebody is comfortable being GNC, they're comfortable being GNC. The problem is, it's like black people saying, well, you're part white, but you're really white, so why are you trying to be black? We can't kick aside our own community for what it's worth. We can't kick aside our GNC brothers and sisters for what it's worth. Siblings, I'm going to say siblings to be nice, considerate, and be very neutral like I should be.
There you go. I feel you. I had to learn, and I
believe that we need to be accommodating on both levels. Our GNC needs to educate the elders, and the elders need to remember we are the foundation. And we want you to recall that we're the foundation and also respect our learning abilities. We're a little slow because we're stuck in where the word is conditioned. So work with us, not against us. Educate your brothers, your siblings of color around you that are gay, lesbian, because those are the ones who's making it worse for us right now. They're laughing at our GNC going, well, they don't know what they're going to be. They don't know if they want to be a man or woman, yada, yada, yada. Educate them. The more you educate outside your circle, the more your circle becomes fulfilled. We're trying to fight each other and educate each other, but the problem is that sometimes our own trans brothers and sisters don't listen to their own trans brothers and sisters. They listen to those outside the circle. And that's a problem we do have in our black community. If we keep hearing it from the gay community, who we taught them to treat us a certain way, and they come back and educate us on our own community, do you not know that changes us? It changes us. It really changes us. Sometimes people don't listen to those they need to listen to. They listen to strangers. And to me, gay and lesbian and bisexuals, those are strangers to me. They don't live this life. They don't live the struggle. But people will listen to them first before they listen to me. You know how many times people come to me, and I'm gonna say it, have come to me and said, well, Flex, I heard about you, but my friend told me, can you help me out? Wait a minute, I just told you 3 weeks you was in a conference, what you need to do, and you didn't listen. Oh, but now your friend told you you're gonna come back to me. I'm just saying, sometimes we got to decide. Sometimes we got to step outside the circle and educate those who are causing the conflict within our circle. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to do that. So all I'm saying to I'm going to say, I call the young ones, even AJ, I call you my nephew. I call you young ones my godchildren. I'm going to say because I'm old as dirt. Y'all know I'm old. Look, I'm dark like this room. I'm dark. So I'm going to say to many of you that are younger than me, please educate those outside your circle forcibly like you try to educate those in the circle. Because sometimes we're not listening to each other. We're listening to others outside the door. How often do you hear people of color telling someone what they need to know, and they're not listening until they hear it on the news, or if somebody white has wrote an article about it, and then all of a sudden they're listening to it? What's wrong with that picture? We can't trust each other enough to even try to educate each other and absorb that education. We have to get it from somewhere else. So for those GNC siblings and GNC godchildren of mine, as I call, I ask you to step outside your circle and forcibly educate them. We're exhausted. We're trying to explain trans men and trans women to a circle outside of ours. And then the next thing is they're confused and they throw out this word GNC, and we're like, oh man, I'm just trying to educate you. Let's get to this level first. We need you to step outside your own circle and educate the LGBT as well as the cisgender, because we can't do it for you. We can't do it for you. So Alan is asking, can he be a GNC man? Alan, that's for you to find yourself. I'm not going to say that to you. That's like someone telling me I'm transgender and tomorrow y'all see me. Right. So I suggest that you find yourself and find where you fit. Because me being a mixed man of color, that's like saying, well, where do I belong? I know where I belong. I have so much entities of myself that I know. But being a man of color by transitional experience, I love living within my binary. It's a convenience to me without conflict. So I'm comfortable with that. And if you are GNC and you're having conflict within society, I ask you to live comfortable without conflict. And that means try not to allow who you are to have others outside of who you are as a person to question who you are, or give you a hard time behind it. So I'm just saying to all of you that if you are people see me on Facebook. Okay, AJ, we're not gonna stay on here because now everybody's hitting me up. I don't know why they can't wait till somebody gets off live. But I just ask you outside your circle and educate those outside your circle as well as those in your circle. But sometimes we don't listen. And the older generation of trans men and trans women, we're learning. You have to be patient with us. I know you feel like we should know this, but we don't know this. We're learning to understand it ourselves. Don't be impatient with us when we say, look, please, I'm trying to understand. Don't be impatient. And if you can't tell someone, bring somebody else along that can do it better. Bring someone else up to do it better. And I'm not saying that it's too late for us, but we can't let it be too late for us. So I need you all to, I challenge everybody right now before I get off here. I challenge everybody to each one teach one. Grab somebody outside your circle, outside your T circle, and educate them. Grab 5 people and educate them. And come back to your home base and educate us as well and share with us. Because the only way we understand is if you share with us. You've got to share with us. So each one teach one. That's my challenge for everybody this year of 2018 to challenge you all to each one teach one and be patient, because teachers have to be patient with y'all when you went to school, so you're going to have to be patient with others as well. And as far as Alan and those that are kind of questioning their gender identity, here's my suggestion. Find yourself within yourself. It's not up to me to make that choice for you.
All right, Flex. I appreciate
Namaste.
you, man.
I love y'all.
Love you too, man.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, from the words of Mr. Flex, your zone. All right. Now, we're gonna get to some of Alan's questions, and we're actually gonna talk back and forth. Hopefully, we get it. Oh no. And he's gone after all of that. Darn it. We were gonna have Alan on, but hey, what's going on, Shy? Fact. There were some really good things that were said while Flex was online, and I appreciate him taking the time out to come on and to clarify some things, to educate from his standpoint. And we have to understand that each person that comes on is going to share from their own personal viewpoint, and understand from their understanding. I get on here, I come from the experiences that I've been told about and my own personal experience. If I have experienced those, a lot of the times I share with permission um, experiences that were shared with me about what people go through. And I make sure that I give those viewpoints as accurately as possible. So, I appreciate y'all taking the time out, watching the live, sharing the live. Um, I'm so sorry that this started out with the toxic masculinity piece. But it led to a great conversation and great input. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening and get ready for my time with my baby. And I gotta post something up for visiblity365. Follow me on Instagram, like the like page, and y'all see it. Even though I haven't posted anything yet, so I have to take some pictures. All right, later, y'all.